Hey, my loves, welcome to the Danette May Show, where today we're going to dive into why God put that narcissist in your life for a reason. This is an empowering episode. Let's jump right in. Welcome to the Danette May Show, where you'll receive profound breakthroughs, courage to break old patterns, and live into your soul's purpose. Each week, I will bring you epic guests and live coaching to remind you of your power. You have the ability to achieve extraordinary things, and the time to start is now. All right, you guys, I'm getting vulnerable on today's podcast because I have been in so much polarity. Have you? I've been watching myself grow, expand, feel really this deep richness and joy within myself, this expanding of self-radical love and owning my power and owning my voice. And then simultaneously seeing old patterns, old wounds, old people show up in my life. And my ex, for example, I thought I had forgiven. I thought I had removed. I thought I didn't have to engage with this human anymore. And it has resurfaced in the past year and a half. And just in this last week, reared its head. And I've really been looking at these behaviors, these patterns of certain souls in my past. They haven't shown up in my now other than the past embodiment of them. And I'm in this deep reflection of why am I facing off with a narcissist? Why am I facing off with someone who feels very sociopathic, who feels very toxic? And you might be feeling this too. And I want to give you a little bit of empowerment as I give myself this empowerment to really understand, why are you facing off with a narcissist? Why are you facing off with someone very extremely toxic? And if you're watching a pattern in your life, this is your opportunity to stop this pattern, to reclaim back your power. But sometimes we just need to understand, why are we feeling these things? Why are we witnessing these things in our lives? And what can we do about it? And I took this episode from Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I thought it was really, really profound, this interpretation of, why would God even put this person into your life? Why did you even run into this person? Sometimes it's really clear. You're like, yeah, I was really low self-esteem. I really didn't have a lot of power within myself back when I was engaging with this person. But I think there's a deeper, deeper reason. And I want to go there with you now. So I am going to really share this excerpt from Joe Dispenza because it helped me, and I believe it will really help you. So I want you to close your eyes for a moment and think back to that person that was super toxic, who drained you, who manipulated you, made you question your worth. Basically the narcissist, the one who left you feeling broken, angry, or lost. What if I told you that they were not a mistake? What if I told you that their presence in your life was divinely orchestrated, not to destroy you, but to awaken you? You see, the universe, God, source, whatever you choose to call it, does not make mistakes. Every encounter, every challenge is a hidden curriculum. The narcissist came into your life for a reason. Maybe they were the mirror reflecting back the parts of you that still needed healing. Maybe they were the fire that forced you to rise from your own ashes. Or maybe they were the catalyst that pushed you to finally set boundaries, to reclaim your power, to remember who you truly are. Think about it. Before them, were you truly aware of your own strength? Did you know the depth of your resilience? Did you fully understand your worth? Or did you only discover these things after the storm? That is the hidden gift. The narcissist was the storm, but you are the one who learned to dance in the rain. You are the one who rebuilt. You are the one who transformed. Now ask yourself, what if this was never about them? What if it was always about you, your evolution, your awakening, your destiny? The mind loves to replay the pain, to obsess over the why, to stay trapped in the story of victimhood. But the soul knows the truth. The soul whispers, this was not your downfall. This was your initiation. So today I invite you to shift your energy. Stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what did this prepare me for? Because when you change the question, you change your future. The narcissist was never your enemy. They were the shadow teacher, the harsh but necessary guide on your path to wholeness. Now the real question is, will you stay stuck in the past? Or will you take all that pain, all those lessons, and alchemize them into your power, into your wisdom, into a love for yourself so unshakable that no one can ever take it from you again? The choice is yours. And remember, the greatest revenge is not anger, it's evolution. It's living so fully, so joyfully, so authentically that the past no longer holds you because you were never meant to be broken. You were meant to be reborn. They came into your life like a storm, unexpected, overwhelming, leaving chaos in their wake. At first, you might have been drawn to their charm, their confidence, the way they seem to see something special in you. But over time, the mask slipped. The criticism, the manipulation, the emotional whiplash of love and cruelty left you questioning everything, especially yourself. You asked, why me? What did I do to deserve this? But what if the real question is, what was this relationship meant to show me? The truth is, the narcissist didn't enter your life by accident. They arrived as a mirror, reflecting back the parts of you that were still unseen, unhealed, or unclaimed. Their presence exposed your deepest insecurities, the fear of abandonment, the need for validation, the tendency to shrink yourself to keep others comfortable. They magnified the wounds you'd been ignoring, the boundaries you'd failed to set. I can really think back on 20-year-old Danette. And the reason she chose this human is because they did validate me. They did feel confident. They did feel like they were going places. And parts of me didn't feel validated. Parts of me didn't feel like I was going to amount to very much. So them pouring into me built me up. So really ask yourself, the love you'd been withholding from yourself, and though it felt like cruelty, it also was clarity. Think about it. Before them, were you truly aware of how much you tolerated? How easily you dismissed red flags? Me, totally. How quickly you prioritized their needs over your own? All the time. The narcissist didn't create those patterns. They revealed them. They held up a mirror to the place where you were still operating from old stories of unworthiness, people-pleasing, or self-betrayal. And while the reflection was painful, it was also a gift. Because you can't change what you don't see. This is the paradox of the narcissist's role in your journey. They were never the villain in your story, even though I felt that, and you probably feel that too. They were the harsh but necessary teacher. Their lies showed you where you doubted your own truth. Their manipulation showed you where you gave your power away. Their absence showed you where you were seeking completion outside yourself. Every hurt, every betrayal, every moment of confusion was an invitation to wake up, to reclaim, to rise. But here's what most people get stuck. They stay fixated on the narcissist, analyzing their motives, replaying the pain, drowning in resentment. And while that's a natural part of healing, it's not the destination. You guys, I used to do this. I used to spend so much time trying to figure out this human. Why are they behaving like this? Why are they doing this? Why would they think like this? Why would they uplift and then manipulate? Why are they who they are? And that is the downfall, is really fixating on this. The real work begins when you turn the mirror around, when you ask, what did this relationship teach me about myself? Where was I abandoning myself? Where was I refusing to set boundaries, speak up, or walk away? I should have walked away the first year, but I stayed in it for 10 years. Maybe you can relate. Because the narcissist didn't break you, they exposed the fractures that were already there. And the exposure was divine. Imagine if you'd never met them. Would you have ever confronted those hidden wounds? I sure wouldn't have. Would you have discovered your own resilience, your own voice, your own worth? Sometimes the most painful relationships are the ones that save us. Not by loving us the way we deserve, but by showing us where we weren't loving ourselves. So now the choice is yours. You can keep staring into the mirror of the past, trapped in the why and the what if, or you can take that reflection, the lessons, the growth, and the unshakable truths you've uncovered and use it to rebuild. Rebuild yourself into someone who no longer fits the old pattern, someone who recognizes their worth before a narcissist ever gets close enough to question it. Someone who doesn't just survive the storm, but emerges from it with a clarity that can't be undone. That's the secret the narcissist never wanted you to know. They were never the point. You were. Your healing, your awakening, your transformation. And now that you see the reflection clearly, you'll never look at yourself or your life the same way again. At first, it felt like the universe had abandoned you, I'm sure. How would a loving God or fate or destiny allow someone so toxic to shatter your heart, your confidence, your trust? You prayed for relief, for answers, for justice, but what if the pain wasn't a sign of divine indifference, but a sacred rite of passage? What if every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of despair was carving out a new version of you, one you couldn't have become any other way? Ancient cultures understood initiation. They knew that transformation rarely comes through comfort. It demands a breaking, a surrender, a descent into the dark before the rising. The narcissist in your life wasn't a random tragedy. They were the fire you had to walk through. Their betrayal burned away your naivety. Their cruelty forged your boundaries. Their absence became the space where you finally heard your own voice. This wasn't punishment, this was preparation. Think back. Before them, were you truly as strong as you are now? Before their lies, did you know how to trust your intuition so fiercely? Before the manipulation, did you understand the power of saying no or the necessity of walking away? The narcissist didn't just hurt you, they initiated you. They initiated you into the higher level of self awareness. They forced you to confront truths you might have spent a lifetime avoiding. That love shouldn't cost you dignity. That forgiveness doesn't mean foolishness. That some people are lessons, not lifelong connections. This is the hidden alchemy of pain. It doesn't just wound, it rewires. Neuroscientists have found that profound emotional experiences can physically reshape the brain, creating new neural pathways for resilience, discernment, and self preservation. In other words, what the narcissist put you through didn't just leave scars, it upgraded your emotional DNA. Listen to that again. It upgraded your emotional DNA. Now you spot red flags faster. You value authenticity over flattery. You've learned that love isn't a transaction when you pay with your peace. These aren't small shifts. They're evolutionary leaps, and they couldn't have happened without the friction of that relationship. Yet so many stay trapped in the why me loop as if suffering were a mistake instead of our curriculum. But consider this. What if the narcissist was the exact teacher your soul needed? Not because you deserved pain, but because you were destined for growth. A seed doesn't become a tree without cracking open. A sword isn't tempered without fire. And you couldn't have become who you were meant to be without shedding who you used to be. The narcissist's greatest lie wasn't their false love. It was the illusion that they held power over your story. But here's the truth. They were never the author. They were just the plot twist. The plot twist that made you realize you've been holding the pen all along. Every time they dismissed you, you learned to validate yourself. Every time they tried to shrink you, you trusted your truth. Every time they broke you, you discovered how unbreakable you really are. That's not loss. That's liberation. So don't curse the initiation. Don't resent the fire. You weren't being punished. You were being polished. And now, with eyes wide open and armor forged in self-love, you're standing at the threshold of a life they can no longer touch. Not because the pain is gone, but because it's been transformed into power. The narcissist thought they were breaking you, but the joke's on them. The greatest tragedy of enduring a narcissist is not the love they withheld, it's the power you gave away. Without realizing it, you handed them your joy like an offering, waiting for them to bless it. You let their moods dictate your worth. Their opinion shaped your reality. But here's the secret they never wanted you to discover. Everything they took from you is already yours to reclaim. Every insult was an invitation to stop seeking validation in the wrong places. Every betrayal was a master class in discernment. Every tear was liquid wisdom carving rivers of resilience to the bedrock of your soul. This is where most people get stuck. They focus on the theft, not the treasure map left in its place. The narcissist didn't just leave wounds, they left blueprints, exposing exactly where your boundaries were porous, where your self-worth was conditional, where your identity had been outsourced to others' approval. That's not damage. That's divine intelligence at work. The universe doesn't waste pain. It uses it as the raw material for your rebirth. You guys, I love you. I've been there. I've experienced this behavior. It has cut me wide open. It has cracked me open, and I've decided to use it as deep wisdom. I feel like I can now smell a sociopath narcissistic behavior a mile away. That is a DNA upgrade. I am no longer hiding my voice. I am no longer diminishing my worth to try to fit in and please other people. I have a roar within me that I've kept quiet for so many years because they brought it forth. I am more clear. I am more in love with myself. My intuition is on point, and yours will be too. Start asking you, what was this here to teach me? What did I deserve to learn in this experience? Because I'm a powerhouse, and because I am meant to learn these initiations so that I walk forward in this evolution of life in love, in grace, and forgiveness with these lessons so that I never repeat them again. Wrapping you up in so much love. If you loved this episode, please share this out. Please click the follow button, rate and review this podcast, because let me tell you, this is what keeps the lights on. When you take a minute to review, to follow, this helps me put these types of episodes out. And for the next episode that's coming down the pipeline, I have Deborah Silverman on back again because she is a profound astrologer. She understands what's going on. If you're like, what the heck, everything's stirring, because that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling the polarity. I'm like, what are these old karmic loops that are wanting to reemerge right now that I need to release and let go of? She's sharing why this is actually happening. This is not just random. This has been written in the stars, and it's happening on an individual level as well as a collective level. So you're going to want to click that follow button so you do not miss this next episode with Deborah Silverman coming on, where she just shares what's going on with the star alignments. And JP Morgan always said that billionaires work with astrologers because they understood the power of this ancient technology to really help you navigate the weathers and the storms and what's going on within your own life in relation to the external world. I love you all so much. Thank you for being a part of this Danette May family, and go ahead and thank you for rating and reviewing and clicking the follow button. Love you all, and I'll see you on the next episode.